Hey guys,
Oh, I just love the look of glistening green grass. You
Venixk
know the
here,
green I'm talking about.
back for more family
Moist
Premonition
as
2.
sprinkler water, reflecting the radiance of the sun. In that regard, Louisiana's grass is in a
Ah,
class of
uh,
its
that,
own.
that, hmm,
Just picture it on a clear
who's
summer
talking?
day. A cold beer in one hand, gazing out
I
from
wanna
your
talk.
porch onto the garden you're so proud of. This is the life.
Who
Doesn't
are
get
you?
much better than this. That's how you feel. A well-kept
God damn
garden
it.
and a cold beer, the ultimate combination.
Shut up, Hank Hill.
They go hand in hand, just like hot dogs and sporting events. But
Oh my god.
that grass,
Who are you?
it's got a bit of a nerve to it. It doesn't matter how many times you cut it down. It'll always keep coming back and turn your eyes away
Oh
from
my
it.
god.
And that's when it'll really
What is
spread.
happening?
Up until last week, your garden was perfectly pruned and balanced, symmetrical and pristine. But
I
you
don't
wake up
don't
next
understand.
morning, and you can't even stand to look at what it's become. That's why people work so hard to cut their grass.
York,
it's some
Zach,
old
whoever you
deed
are,
they've
who's
been
talking?
tasked with by the big man in the sky. Oh. And it never ends. Understand me, Zach?
Okay,
If you want
you're
to
talking
stop
to Zach.
cutting the grass, well, you need to either submit to its growth or
Is Kaysen talking to us?
to wither. That's all humans can really
Who are you?
Hard work never
I don't understand.
big picture. Nothing but wasted efforts. You following me here? Now just be honest.
And this music,
with yourself. Be honest, Francis Zach Morgan.
okay, so that music was Life is Beautiful, which was very used often in the first game. Kaysen, fuck you!
Oh, howdy, Zach. So we meet again.
He is a different voice actor.
Such a touching reunion. Like a little boy who was given up for adoption, finally reuniting with his true parents. Look, even little Willie here is beside himself with joy.
I'm a demon dog.
Oh, did you just shoot?
Oh dear.
Damn it! I'm gonna kill you!
Why do I have a feeling that he's had a psychiatric break and he's actually in his bedroom and that's the FBI agent he's choking now? Because that's where that scene left off.
Hey, let her go!
Oh, now you're there,
What's gotten
Simon.
into you?
Wait, this is not how the bedroom was set up before.
Jeez, are you okay?
I'm so confused on what just happened in terms of the layout of the world. Because it just seemed like everything just changed its location. Anyways. Hey, Zach.
That should do it.
Okay. So a lot of things just happened, and I was really confused, so I'll try to run through it real quick. That fat evil we saw was Forrest Kaysen, who is the man behind all the evil from the first game. At this point, I might as well spoil the first game, because that sort of is. But pretty much, Forrest Kaysen was around in like 1960. Found out that there was some weird, orchestrated this weird government, like, operation to build a bioweapon, which caused the town of Greendale to go crazy. As a byproduct, Forrest Kaysen realized that it granted him immortality, as long as he keeps consuming the red seeds, of which the red seeds are done via implanting them into the wombs of living women, where it will then sprout, killing them, and then you can plant it and get a bunch more seeds, which you can then eat, are highly addictive, and grant you superpowers of some sort. First game was really weird. So that was that Fat Evil. I'm not sure why Zach just went crazy. But, yeah. And also the dog is the same dog we followed around a few episodes ago. Which is why I was so confused why he was there. Anyways, you're caught up. Let's go on. Oh, where are we?
Well,
in the context of this room.
Back now. How should we clean this up?
First, take the camera down.
Searching the room.
Okay. Oh, really? We're back in 2019? Didn't realize. This room is pure insanity.
This room is pure insanity.
She's saying it.
But I can't let it shake me. Why did you come here, Aaliyah?
I don't know. You haven't told us yet.
Remember the real reason you decided to investigate Morgan's house in the first place?
Because you think Patricia Clarkson is here?
We came here to find a missing girl.
I mean, to be fair, she's probably in her 20s by now. Because she was like 12 in 2005 and 2019, so... I mean, even conservatively... No, even if she was 4 years old, she'd be 18 by now. She's not a little girl anymore. Okay, let's take a look at Zach.
Patricia Clarkson isn't here.
No shit.
And he's done nothing except narrowly skirt the thin line of legality in all the right ways.
Well, duh, he's a former FBI special agent.
He's so abnormal. How can there not be a single shred of evidence against him?
Because he didn't do it. What do you... That's...
Daniel Clarkson.
Oh, he lived.
The file said his only real talent was his ability to pick up women. But when I spoke with him in the warehouse, he seemed dignified, like a truly accomplished man. Marrying into the Clarkson family must have put him through a lot.
Well, yeah, he got some good advice from York and then turned his life around.
Why do you think Jethro here survived?
Why are you calling him Jethro? Just because he's from Florida?
Why?
I mean, doesn't he look like the kind of guy who'd die first in a horror movie?
Listen, Simon. We have enough with the movie bullshit from York. Zach, whoever. We don't need you jumping in on this.
He married into the Clarkson family. He didn't possess Clarkson blood, so he had nothing to do with Helena Doman's plan.
The blood purge thing? But if that was all there was to it, then Helena Doman wouldn't have killed anyone but Clarksons, right?
I mean, did she kill anyone else?
Yet a ton of the Clarkson gang members died, along with Sheriff Woods.
That's collateral damage. And Sheriff Woods wasn't supposed to die.
Doesn't add up.
Did you read the reports?
She did whatever it took to achieve her goals. She'd kill if the plan required it. But killing people outside of the Clarkson family was never a priority. Her ultimate goal was to cut off the Clarkson bloodline.
Okay.
Maybe he was always meant to be an assistant to the goddess of fertility.
Again, I really wish I can read the report that Zach wrote up about this incident so I can know what the fuck he put in there.
Like a servant?
He was the kind of person who was most in his element when he had someone to serve. Even afterwards, he let Patricia take over the estate, while he became her assistant.
Oh, that's nice.
As soon as he settled into his role, the townspeople started to respect him.
Oh, cool.
Now they practically revere him, and he's even earned himself a nickname. One-Armed Danny.
Oh, good for you, Danny.
So you think his life played out exactly the way Professor R planned it to go?
Or not.
Talk about tragic.
What? Why is that tragic? He's a very successful person.
photograph of Patricia Clarkson. I thought she was imprisoned right here in this room.
Why would you think that? You've given nothing. You've had no proof about it. You have him under surveillance. 24/7 surveillance. With the camera in his house, how would you possibly think?
But there was no one here. Where could she be then? Come on, Agent Jones. I know you're hiding something.
Yeah, probably Patricia.
What are you talking about?
You've been watching him for 4.5 years, haven't you? Can you really stand here and tell me that you never saw a single one of the strange signs I'm picking up on now?
Well...
What signs?
Deadly premonitions.
Hey, they said the thing again!
Preparations for kidnapping or terrorist activities. Sexual depravity, violent tendencies, self-mutilation, or even just contacting a specific person periodically.
Nope, nada. He doesn't fit any of that.
Really? Because I'm pretty sure about half those things were actually established of him doing.
You think I'd really ignore something that obvious? I may be a schlub, but I'm still an FBI agent.
Barely.
Then why didn't you do anything about this room? Or did you merely choose to ignore his abnormal proclivities?
You want to know what I did? I did my damn job. End of story.
Yeah.
I was outside the entire time. How do you expect me to notice a room like this from out there? It's as simple as that. At least it was, until you dragged me into this whole mess.
Yeah, man.
Don't blame me just because your big investigation ended up leading nowhere.
Harsh.
Then tell me the truth. After seeing this room, can you really say that man is in his right mind? He kept this room a total secret from you for over 4.5 years. No normal human is capable of such a feat.
Really? I mean, I'm pretty sure there's stuff in my room I haven't seen in 4.5 years.
Only a true genius. Or a true monster.
So maybe I'm one of those too. You decide!
Can you really guarantee that he won't try anything if we just let him go here?
Yeah.
Well,
Then you need to help me. Find some sort of evidence that we can use to make him reveal what he's plotting.
But what if he's not plotting anything? Your entire strategy seems to be based off the fact that you assume he's guilty already.
okay.
You're assuming his guilt, and now you're trying to look for evidence to back that up. That's not how that works. You find the evidence and then figure out who's guilty from it.
I was so positive, but she isn't here. There is something about this room, though. Agent Jones, what do you think?
Me?
I'm not as smart as you. Why are you even asking me?
Because you're a sounding board.
Are you hiding something?
Yes.
Of course not. Knock it off. Me? Hiding something? Ha! That's a good one.
I don't even know the definition of the word.
Come on. I got nothing to hide.
Ugh.
I thought I would find answers in this room. I thought that Patricia would be here.
You didn't check the closet yet, to be fair.
But I was wrong. This room is only filled with photos of people related to the case and the handiwork of a madman. Feels like I'm wandering through a heavy mist.
Uh-huh.
Why is Morgan showcasing those women's photos?
Do you mean on the bed? I assume you mean on the bed.
And that bed. If you loved someone from the bottom of your heart, would you ever be able to marry someone else? Or kill for them?
Well, Melvin did.
Whoa, what are we talking about?
Talk about Melvin,
I've never
man.
heard of any kind of motive like that in any other murder case.
Really? You haven't? I feel like I can think of several off the top of my head.
I just keep feeling like we're being fed a story that he made up in his mind.
True.
Except he has evidence and eyewitnesses to collaborate, so...
Honestly, without having experienced what that's like, I can't really say what I'd do. But I'd never try and force love to happen if it didn't seem like it was meant to be.
Except you did do that, so fuck you.
There are 3.5 billion women on this planet.
Give or take.
There's got to be more than one specific person who anyone can fall deeply in love with, right?
Yeah, I mean, if someone's 1 in a million, that's still like 3... It's still like several thousand people.
But what if we were talking about pizza, not women?
Are you asking him if there's a specific pizza he'd murder for?
You just discovered the perfect ultimate pizza. But you aren't allowed to take even a single bite.
Hey, are you going to investigate those seeds that are about, a foot and a half to your right there? No? Okay.
Unless you kill someone for the cook.
Have you ever loved someone with all your heart?
What kind of person do you take me for?
So that's a no.
That's my line.
Man, I love pizza. Wouldn't kill for it.
The one who took her in after the incident was Daniel Clarkson, the next in line to succeed the Clarkson family.
What? It was her uncle.
He's the one that ended up raising her from that point onwards. Isn't fate strange? In the end, two people who were completely unrelated by blood ended up inheriting that house.
Oh, true. They're not related by blood. Still her uncle.
Yeah, you're right. But sometimes I wonder, what is family anyway?
Shut up, Simon.
Go back far enough, we're all strangers to one another.
Or go back far enough, we're all related to each other. What?
We're talking countless generations, marriages and birth,
Humans love to deify the rules they create. It's almost like that's been an unwritten law from the very start.
Yeah, humans like order, blah blah blah. Okay, well, let's check this out.
Is this supposed to be the altar from the site where Lise Clarkson's body was found? Why would he want to replicate that inside of his own home? There's no way this man is sane.
He's trying to find the clue that he missed. Oh, jeez. Okay. What was with the boom sound? What's with the mannequin? Oh, the mannequin's in the shape of...
Why did Lise have to die first?
the second girl who died. Bum 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 bum. Dead rats!
What is this?
It's a dead rat.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
So, was the tree growing out of the dead rat, or was the tree... Okay, let's not look at it.
Paints such a bizarre picture. But upon closer look, I can see some strange sort of pattern to it all. Was Morgan trying to recreate something with all this?
Yes, he was trying to recreate what the bodies look like so he can look for more clues.
So, there must be a reason for all of these weird and hideous things.
Photo
When
Fanny.
Helena Doman returned home, someone must have let her inside.
Yeah.
You think that was her brother-in-law, Daniel?
I don't know.
I mean, he was there, but again, that was her house. Like, the guards probably just looked at her and went, "Oh yeah, Helena, you're one of the Clarkson kids. Go rot in."
Well, alligators did chomp his arm off. He probably had it in for old man PJ too.
Nah, man, he loves his pa.
But, you know, I don't think he had anything to do with this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Helena just walked in.
Why not?
The door wasn't locked.
You're making it out to be more complicated than it really is. That's always the problem with people like you. Too smart for your own good.
Yeah, gotta be more like me, a dum-dum. Dum-dum no good. No good. No good at think hard. Dum-dum thinks simple.
Just get to the point.
Professor R marched straight through the front door to the mansion.
Yeah.
She arrived right at her destination using the quickest route possible without having to undergo a single security check.
Right, just like I said.
No. My question is, how was she able to do that?
Because she's family.
Duh.
It doesn't matter if PJ disowned her. He never stopped loving his son. A father would never abandon his child, no matter how much they failed to fulfill his expectations.
Yeah, it's like, it's not complicated. Just, she just walked in.
That's what being a parent is all about.
It's like, oh.
Don't look at me like that. I know. I don't have a son myself. But I have a father. He's
Oh,
still
like
back
you.
in my
Ooh,
hometown,
harsh.
managing the printing plant my grandfather started. He'll be turning 80 soon. He wanted me to take over the place, but as you can see, I'm out here. But I know how this whole thing works. Even though I haven't seen him in forever, the minute I go home, he'll welcome me with warm, open arms.
Okay. I mean, yeah, like, that's what I said too, is that was just, it wasn't complicated. Galena.
Galena Clarkson went to California to become an actress, but things never took off for her, so she eventually returned home. Then she murdered her own daughter and ended up like this. Where did she go wrong?
Probably the murder parts.
She did manage to appear in a few movies, right?
Not as any characters with actual names, and never with much clothes on.
Wow.
So that's the only value they saw in her, huh? Sorry, that was insensitive.
A little, yeah.
It's an everyday occurrence in that world. She was also bullied a lot.
Bullied? How?
She only got parts that involved her being half naked.
They'd cut up her costumes, her scripts, and even her own clothes.
Were they high schoolers?
Everywhere she went. Then, after 3 years of that, her stylist chopped off a chunk of her hair. By accident.
See, now that's how you get fired. Like, I'm sorry, but the stylist should get fired for that immediately. I don't care how much people didn't like her. It's like, dude, that's... No, that's completely unprofessional.
Are you kidding me?
I did a little investigating on this. In the end, a self-titled big cheese producer tricked her. She almost ended up going into porn.
Ooh.
Not hard to imagine what would have happened after that.
She will have been in porn. What's wrong with that?
One witness said that after returning to Lucare, she refused to use scissors to cut anything.
Which is weird because the red shadows that are based off her are scissor monsters. Huh. Fascinating.
What's that?
It's a hunting trophy with PJ Clarkson's eye patch on it.
A hunting trophy. A brown bear. With a dragonfly eye patch.
Why is it smoking a cigar?
It's probably supposed to represent Philip J. Clarkson's body.
And the elk is...
Duman. Wow. Helena. That's her name. Jeez.
Helena Doman.
Like, how could I've completely forgot the name. Like, what?
So that's why it's got such good taste in fashion.
Hashtag high fashion.
And this one is Galena Clarkson?
Yes, we just went over that.
Why did he want to line up corpses that were killed in different places, all together in a single room?
It's almost as though they were all part of the same investigation. Gee. And maybe they're related.
Red seeds?
Red rope.
You sure it's okay to press that?
It might be booby trapped.
Won't know until we try.
Maybe one of us should leave the room? No? Okay.
Hey, it's Woodstock.
Shut up, Simon.
Look, a peace sign.
Oh, okay. So, in the original game, first game, the tree had a very specific set of features. One of them being that the branches grew in this exact shape. So one of the characters who got whipped with the tree as a child ended up having this scarred on their body. Throwing that out there.
Love and peace, man.
No, this actually is something else.
Even I can figure out what this is from. It's Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin,
Did you read the fucking report, Simon?
Grateful Dead, and Led Zeppelin. But I shouldn't have to explain it to a music nut like you, right?
Read the report.
That isn't a peace mark. It's upside down. You don't need to be a music nut to see that.
I mean, to be fair, whether or not it's upside down is based off which way you're facing.
Who says that's the top part?
Yeah, I sort of
If
agree
you're
with
looking
that.
from Lisa's head, this is the top part, making it a big, fat peace mark.
No, this is the ground.
Where's your proof?
The red seeds.
Okay.
Seeds go in the ground, right? That makes this wall the bottom. Lisa's head is clearly at the top. Period.
Oh,
Also,
fine.
Agent Jones. Led Zeppelin never played at Woodstock.
Burn! Oh.
He's representing a human with a hunting trophy made from an animal. I feel like I'm looking at a piece of modern art done in really bad taste.
To be fair, he might have just used whatever he had on hand. Greenville case files. Let's
Anna
check it
Graham.
out. Anna Graham! God, that was a terrible name.
The first victim of the Greenville case. Her body was found hanging from a tree, like a goddess being worshipped in a sanctuary. Meanwhile, Lise Clarkson was found on the bank of a river in an area that had been fashioned into an altar.
Yeah, it's weird.
The person who gruesomely ended the life of that young woman must be brought to justice.
But we know who did it.
I completely agree. They both still had their whole lives ahead of them.
In both cases, the person who did it is dead already.
The Le Carre case and the Greenville case. According to my investigation, the one key that links both cases is Francis Zach Morgan.
And the red seeds. You know, the fact that the red seeds originate from Greenville. And that's what, you know, the whatever Rouge thing is made. Whatever. I feel like you guys didn't read the
But
report
if
at
we look
all.
at the cases from his point of view, we see one more connection.
Thank you.
The red seeds are also present in both cases. I believed that he was the one who brought them to both towns.
No! He found the... My God.
Maybe.
Did you not read his report at all?
No. Never mind.
You just want him to be guilty.
Sure seems like our friend Daniel here was just destined to suffer.
Again, he's a very successful person right now.
He crossed the entire continent and married into the Clarkson family, all for the sake of the woman he loved.
Did he? Pretty sure he came from Florida to Louisiana. It's not that far.
But then
Is
the
that-
love of his life became a drug addict and ended up murdering their very own daughter.
Yeah, that sucks.
And she too was murdered as part of her big brother's conspiracy.
Sister. Big sister. Asshole.
Finally, in order to prove that he could take responsibility for the family, he gave up his right arm to his father-in-law, who got blown to bits soon afterwards. And to add insult to injury, all the inheritance went to PJ's secret heir.
Not so secret. She literally was wearing a necklace this whole time.
If I had to go through all that, I'm pretty sure I'd go crazy.
He seemed to handle it just fine.
I don't know.
What do you mean?
He found someone he loved so much, he moved across the entire continent just to be with her. That's beautiful. It also seems that he was eventually able to make an identity for himself in Le Carre as well.
Yeah.
After I found his daughter's body, I interrogated him for a bit. When I told him we were going to do an autopsy on her body, he didn't react violently in any way.
Okay, that's surprising.
I
Actually.
remember him looking relieved and tired. Kind of like someone who'd just woken up from a coma.
Okay.
He was taught how to rule as a child. never confided in anyone, and married for purely political reasons.
Yeah.
Then he prospered so much that he became powerful enough to rule an entire town on his own.
I mean, that's not that difficult. Honestly,
But
whatever.
in the end, his own child betrayed him and ended his entire clan in a series of violent deaths. If that was your life, how would you look back on it?
I feel like he'd be proud. It's like, oh, my kid turned out to be a ruthless killer. Just like Grandpappy.
Yeah. Beats me. I wasn't born into a rich family, nor was I ever taught how to rule. And for what it's worth, I've also never knocked up a young ex-actress. But I guess the one thing we can say is that any good life needs balance.
Was that the... What?
Get too hung up on one thing and you lose sight of everything else. And if you betray someone, you'll get betrayed too.
I feel like that wasn't relevant to anything that we were talking about, but
Someone
sure.
thinks they can step all over people and then live out the rest of their life in peace. They're fooling themselves. We always get to see how those people end up in our line of work. In the end, they die horrible deaths.
Okay.
That is why pizza is the only thing I trust. Pizza never betrays you.
Not true. Pizza betrays you when you're lactose intolerant. Or allergic to one of the ingredients.
She planned a string of murders all in order to restore the Clarksons to their former glory, right?
Yes and no. She might have just been crazy.
Yeah. According to Morgan's story. Matches up with the files, too.
But the only proof of that is the confession she privately gave to Morgan just before she died.
God damn it, York.
Galena Clarkson was also murdered immediately after she confessed.
God damn it, York.
Don't you think it's all a little too convenient?
Well, story-wise, yeah.
And the sacrifices. None of the FBI's official records contain an example of an actual human sacrifice.
Okay. I mean, York did say that earlier.
Aside from the cases that Francis Zach Morgan handled, that is.
Yeah, that's suspicious.
There are tons of examples of animal sacrifice, though. And remember the witch hunts back in the Middle Ages?
Meaning?
Meaning, there are always exceptions to the rule.
Yeah, I mean, just because there wasn't any before doesn't mean there won't be any from now on. And maybe Zach is just that good of an agent that he was able to find them.
And Morgan alluded to the existence of some sort of journal, right? I think he said he read it in Professor R's lab. If we could find that, maybe this would all become easier to swallow.
True.
The report didn't mention anything about a journal.
That's suspicious.
And if it truly did exist, it surely would have been submitted as evidence.
Except for the fact that Hurricane Katrina came by, like, directly after the case and destroyed it.
Unless he tried to cover it up on purpose.
Or there was a massive hurricane.
Or?
Unless the journal never existed in the first place.
Exactly.
Okay.
This case took place in Lucare, and centered around the Clarksons. Oppressive authority, cross purposes, madness, and love. But Katrina took the truth along with many innocent lives and buried it all at the bottom of the swamp.
Yeah, why do you think... Why are you so suspicious on the lack of evidence when there was a literal hurricane that went through that area?
But there's one truth that can never be washed
It's like,
away.
oh man, if it wasn't submitted evidence, it must not be real. It's like, no, there was a hurricane.
This all started with the death of a young girl. Everyone thinks that the principal thing to the tree is the fruit.
What?
But in point of fact, the principal thing to it is the seed. Now I know why Lise Clarkson was murdered first.
Okay.
Lisa's death was Professor R having second thoughts.
What?
According to Morgan, her plan was to perform parricide and filicide, then commit suicide. Those were the 3 deaths necessary to complete the ritual, remember?
Sure.
Which means she technically could have killed Patricia first. That would have been the best way to delay any interference from the Clarksons themselves.
Yes.
The reason she didn't kill Patricia first is because Lena was actually following a different plan inside her own mind.
Also, Patricia was her own daughter, So why would she want to kill her? Obviously, she'd go for the person who isn't her daughter first.
Or perhaps she merely changed her plan as she followed through with it. At some point, new emotions started to take root within her.
Take roots.
She had second thoughts about something. And in order to shake those off, she used Galena to kill Lise first, in order to cut off any possible escape. But that only made her plan move ahead quicker than she could have ever imagined. Which forced her to rush right up to the end with those misgivings always in the back of her mind.
And you yelled at Zach for making shit up.
Huh? Wait, hold on. Yeah, you lost me. What are you talking about?
Sorry, I was thinking about pizza.
In other words, at some point, Helena Doman decided that she wanted to make Patricia the next heir. The blood purge wasn't for the goddess of fertility. It was for their daughter, Patricia.
How do you know that she wasn't the goddess of fertility?
Wait, are you saying Helena knew from the start that Sheriff Woods would die with Candy?
That's the only explanation I can think of.
Huh.
Remember, this is only assuming that everything Morgan told us was true. Until I can trust that man, this is all nothing more than conjecture.
And I'll never trust that man.
Considering how insane this all is, it sounds perfectly believable to me.
What? Okay, Zach. Wakey wakey. So, what's the gameplay segment going to be now? Hugo, will you give me hints on what to do? Hey, man.
Francis Zach Morgan. Remember me?
Hey, Ugan.
Oh, cat got your tongue.
No, I'm unconscious.
Understood.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
You know why I'm here, don't you? Surely you must know what this means. To commemorate our reunion, allow me to give you another oracle.
Go for it, Hugan. Oh, that's a snake around your neck.
Once signed, will last for eternity.
Okay, yeah, so...
But only in the presence of true love.
What?
Did you hear that?
I thought you were referring to the contract I made with Patty.
It's been a while since I felt this. You know, there's hardly anyone in this era who can see me like you can.
Who are you?
And they've been dropping like flies since you first came to see me.
Ooh, sorry about that.
Breaks my heart.
You killed a lot of man. Anyways. What's up?
We don't have much time.
Maybe you should talk
Do you
faster.
have any questions for me?
Sure. Is Patricia safe?
Excellent. You pass. You haven't changed, Francis Zach Morgan.
Okay.
But that question isn't for me to answer. Go and see it with your own eyes.
Okay.
Oh, time's up.
What?
We'll have to finish this
What?
during our next reunion.
What? 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 Whose phone is ringing? God damn it. Put your phone on silence.
Oh, this is bad.
Fail to apprehend targets. Target escaped with hostage. Whereabouts unknown.
Agent Jones, what is this referring to?
About that.
Avery Smith kidnapped Patricia Clarkson and escaped.
What?
Avery Smith? The vault manager? Why would he kidnap Patricia?
And why is the
Tell me
first
what's going on right
that
now.
she's hearing about this?
Well,
Answer me, Jones.
I made a deal with Morgan.
What?
back when he took me to the bathroom.
What? What?
Morgan said something to me. If we want to find Patricia, we need to look at Avery Smith.
Also, I like how just the fairy's just flying around now. It's like, whee!
Have you lost your mind?
What he said made sense. Ever since 2005, Avery's been working deep inside that cold storage warehouse. He was also arrested in the past for getting too friendly with Lise Clarkson.
Ew.
And after Katrina, he apparently worked on renovating the warehouse for free.
Okay.
What if that allowed him to freely modify the warehouse as he pleased? That would explain why her body remained missing for 14 whole years. And then I did a little check and found out that he never went back to work after Christmas vacation ended.
Okay, so hang on. Like, I do think that Avery moved the body. Because the entire point is that someone really tall needed to do it, and he's the tallest fucking person we've ever seen in our life. And the concept that the red seeds are supposed to increase the person's characteristics, so maybe they made him taller or some bullshit, whatever. So it's very possible for him to have moved Lisa Clarkson's body. But I don't think he's a bad guy.
So what? Why would you trust him?
It's not so much trust as...
I don't.
That's why I sent other people to check up on it.
I just decided it was worth investigating, that's all. So, I sent 2 agents to Avery's house without telling anyone. I just called in a favor from an old friend in the New Orleans branch.
No one gave you clearance for that. You can just...
Very.
But what if Morgan's telling the truth? If he is, we're both gonna look like total clowns.
True.
Clowns who went barging into a former agent's house on completely unfounded suspicions. HQ will have a field day with us. They'll string us up as the 2 dumbest agents to have ever graced the field. I just wanted to take some precautions. And besides, if he is lying, it's still no skin off our backs.
Yeah, I mean, either he's telling the truth, and we found it and we're heroes, or he's lying and it's like, whatever.
Right? If things work out, we'll end up solving a difficult case that's been driving everyone crazy. Imagine that. You and me, just the 2 of us, solving a case like this. I'll be able to jump ship on this crappy job, and you'll be able to freely investigate all things Saint Rouge, just like you've always wanted. Besides, you know that Morgan is Director Abraham's favorite.
Of course he is.
Even if we get into some sort of trouble, if Morgan testifies to Abrahams for us, we'll totally be in the clear.
I don't care. This isn't the way things are supposed to be done.
Yeah, we're not supposed to get evidence and then investigate it. We're supposed to decide that the person's guilty and then look for things to, qualify that claim. That's the American way. What?
Well, I'm sorry.
I mean, I hate to agree with Simon, but it's like, he got a lead and he followed up on it. What was he supposed to do? Nothing?
But I had no other choice. You were so engrossed in this, and come on, you know how I am. Besides, saving the hostage should take priority above all else. There's no time for squabbling.
Yeah.
We need to find Avery Smith no matter what it takes.
But how?
Well...
Thanks to your heroic maneuvers, we just lost our suspect.
I know, but...
I know how to find him.
Magic!
I should be able to see the other world, the way I am now. Just let me go, please.
Right, sure.
Morgan?
It's okay, my fairy. I know I can convince them.
Okay. Okay, now... Suddenly I'm Zach. Okay, sure, why not?
Definitely not the best thing for them to see right now.
Yeah, too late.
If I saw that during an investigation, I wouldn't be able to stay calm and listen to someone either. I found the first one last autumn, a dead rat with a bud
coming up out of its stomach, just like this one. A rat ate a red seed, died, and the bud sprouted.
Zach, you knew that already. That was the entire point of the first game.
Honestly, it shocked me.
Why does that shock you? You know that's what happens.
Up until this point, I'd only ever seen red seeds, saplings, and big trees.
I guess to be fair, they're not. It's not red.
So I decided to grow one of my own.
What are you talking about?
I needed to solve the mystery of the red trees. Why do they exist?
Because Kaysen did a weird government thing.
But all of my sprouts died without ever growing the tiniest bit. Forget about a big tree. I couldn't even grow a single sapling.
So you kept experimenting.
On rats.
2 days after the seed enters a rat, it takes the rat's life. On the third day, a bud sprouts up, then grows to that size after 5 more. I tested this on 137 corpses.
In only a few months? Blech.
I mean, he just told you how long it takes, so it's not that hard.
But I was never able to grow a bud any larger than this size. I still remember what he told me.
Kaysen.
Apparently, there's a special trick to making these grow.
You're totally insane.
Well, yes, but that's neither here nor there. And the laugh's not helpful.
Maybe. Please, Aaliyah Davis, let me go.
Hey, you're not calling her Belle anymore.
This is our case to finish.
No, you aren't an agent anymore.
But you don't know how to find him. Neither of you ever could.
Oh, I'll find him.
Oh, I'll find him,
I
alright.
swear on my pride as an active agent that I won't give up until I do.
And what will happen to Patricia in the meantime?
That won't get you anywhere. It's beyond you.
Shut up. You think we can't find him, but you can.
Yes, that's exactly what he's saying.
Just how stupid do you think we are?
No comment.
If you want us to believe you, then it's about time you showed us some proof.
Hard to do when I'm handcuffed to the wall.
I don't have much time left. I'm pretty sure that's why I can see the other world now. I'd lost that sense ever since the Greenvale incident, but it's back now. Please, will you just trust me? Come on, Simon. You'll trust me, won't you?
What?
What?
No, Agent Jones. Remember the warning I gave you at the very beginning?
Don't fall in love with the suspect. What? What? No!
You can't let him take control of the conversation.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Hey, Belle. Your hypothesis was pretty much on the mark.
Really?
Last week, I went back to Lucare.
Oh, now I feel like an asshole.
Then I bought a used car and got on a train in Trenton. But not for the reason you think. I wasn't stalking Patricia. And I'd never try to kidnap her.
Then why would you go there? Why would you risk so much, especially since you knew that you were under surveillance?
See, this whole time I thought Simon was the baddie and he did it, so now I feel like an asshole for yelling at you guys. Sorry.
Because, once again, I'm chasing Sang Rouge.
Sang Rouge?
Even after I quit the FBI, I continued to study the red trees on my own. And now, I've come to the conclusion that those red seeds and Sang Rouge both come from the same roots.
No shit! Did all the red trees in Lucare not clue you in on that? Did the fact that there were red seeds everywhere you fucking went in that town not clue you in on that? Did the fact that Sang Rouge had the same exact effect as the red seeds not clue you in on that fact? What the fuck, Zach?
I also found proof that someone's inherited the original recipe. That's why I flew to Lucare, to confirm my suspicions.
Okay, sure.
But I was more powerless than I ever could have imagined. I couldn't move like I used to. No badge, no gun.
No imaginary friend to talk to.
So, After wandering aimlessly around town, I swallowed down my torment and my weakness and left.
You expect me to believe that?
I know you've got it in you.
What's that supposed to mean?
You found Lise Clarkson's body. The one thing I never did.
Okay.
And only a few days after discovering the body, you came to visit me. You should be fully capable of discerning that what I'm telling you is the truth.
Talking much about oneself can also be a means to conceal oneself.
Sure.
You can't trick me. If your story is true, then why did Avery Smith kidnap Patricia?
Probably because she looks like Lisa?
Patricia resembles Lise.
Yeah.
I even got them confused once. And Lise reported being stalked by a 10-foot man.
That's Avery Smith?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he's only 6'7" at best.
Well, it's called hyperbole.
His physical characteristics don't match the person you're talking about.
No one does!
I once concluded the very same thing, but now I know. That was definitely Avery.
It's almost as though it was hyperbole.
He protected Lisa's body for the past 14 years, until you discovered his sleeping beauty.
So after losing Lisa's body, he kidnapped Patricia as a replacement? That's ridiculous. Is that really what you think happened? Even if Avery did possess that sort of mentality, it doesn't make sense. If Lise was really that important to him, he would have tried to steal her back.
What?
Not now, maybe, but certainly after she was buried.
But she wasn't buried because you couldn't find her body.
Would you be able to go on worshipping a goddess who had been defiled by so many hands? That ice was a barrier, a shield that separated the divine from our world.
Oh, my drum! My drum is here!
What is this drum?
Did you not read the report? The Lord hungers!
Please don't tell me it was a tool they planned to use for the blood purge.
Sharp eyes as usual, Belle. No. It was part of an even darker ritual. I can't even bring myself to say its name.
The Sinner's Trilogy.
It was far more important to
What?
our case. And far more horrible,
What?
if you can believe it.
What?
What?
No, that's just a drum. A drum made from 3 empty cans, animal skins, and a fragrant pressed flower.
Like I said, what is it?
I don't fucking know, dude.
Maybe it's a souvenir?
What? You expect me to believe that?
Hey, when the Lord hungers. And then we just drop it. It's like, yeah, whatever.
You said that someone inherited the Sang Rouge recipe, didn't you?
Yeah.
Is that someone Avery Smith?
It has to be. Avery used to help Professor R do research in secret.
What? Well, that wasn't in the report.
I only realized it just now. The moment I spilled my coffee on the floor. Avery revealed that he was helping with some sort of research.
True, he did say that.
But at the time, I let his confession go in one ear and out the other. Now that I look back on it, I realize it was solid proof that he was helping her produce Sang Rouge.
Yeah.
What makes you think that?
He had free access to the deepest parts of the cold storage warehouse.
Somewhere that no one else had access to.
Wait.
Meaning...
Sang Rouge needs to be produced in an extremely cold environment.
Exactly. Aaliyah Davis. You already considered this possibility, didn't you? That's why you investigated the cold storage warehouse as soon as you got to Lucare, in order to locate where Sang Rouge was being made.
It's all coming together.
Then, you came across Lisa's body by pure chance.
Or Melvin.
Wasn't the Fool King.
Okay.
What?
Who
Many
was then?
different characters pop up in Lena's journal, and I mistook one of them for someone else.
What are you talking about?
After Simon hit me and I fainted, I had a dream.
See, I always thought you were the Fool
Now
King,
I'm
but whatever.
convinced I'm the
Yeah.
Fool King.
See, I said that initially. I'm like, wouldn't it make more sense for you to be the Fool King?
The Fool King was always meant to be an outsider who suddenly arrived in Lucare.
Maybe it's because I've been playing Persona. But because the Fool Arcana has to do with, like, the wild card. It's change. It's the element of randomness. Not necessarily someone that's a fool. That's what I saw when I first saw the Fool King. And that's why I'm like, oh, obviously it's York. But it's like, no. It must be the person who's been acting a fool this whole time. It's like, why would Lena call Melvin that? They've had very little interaction in the story. And there's whatever.
And the man she felt a need to eliminate wasn't me, but Avery. Lena realized her plan was on the verge of falling apart.
Because Avery took the body?
She also guessed that I would be able to save Patricia from Melvin.
Mm-hmm.
The one worry that remained in her heart was leaving Patricia behind, and how her life would play out from that point on. Especially since she would be left behind with Avery, a large, childlike man who's beyond anyone's control. She wrote that journal entry hoping that I, the Fool King, would be capable of stopping Avery.
But you weren't.
And she wrote it in a specific way in order to try and rouse me to action.
But unfortunately, you got hit upside the head and got a concussion afterwards. So you ignored it.
Lena and Melvin both entrusted me with their daughter. So please,
Not Candy, of course.
just let me go.
Who do you think benefited most from the Greenvale case?
Kaysen.
No one benefited from it. Many lives were lost. That's all.
In fact, I think every single cop there died.
You really believe that?
Everyone who survived was overcome with sadness,
Well,
scarred for life.
not those two creepy little kids.
Without exception?
Without exception.
Those two creepy kids at the end were like, oh yeah, Forest Fairy, yeah!
Isn't that right, my fairy?
I feel like you're the one person who benefited from the case. You were able to add a new chapter to your stunning career and earned unshakable trust from the chief. That's what allows you to go on using his intel network as you please, even though you're retired.
Are you seriously suggesting that?
Yes, she is. That's why she said it.
Sickness is destroying my body. I feel like I'm on the verge of losing my mind, yet somehow I'm unable to forget the cases connected to those seeds, whittling down what's left of my life, chasing them.
Like, you seriously think he has nothing better to do right now?
You really think I'm doing all this for nothing but self-interest?
Like, he has cancer. He has, like, months to live. You really think he has nothing better to do than, like, lie to you about this shit?
Is that really what you're saying?
You know, those are good points.
I understand what you're trying to say, but it's too perfect. It's too perfect, just like that report of yours.
What's that supposed
How
to
did you
mean?
come to such a detailed conclusion after spending years shut up in this room?
Magic.
It doesn't make sense. The only possible explanation is that you're bending the narrative in the direction you want it to go.
Why do you think I left the field for 2 years after Greenvale? That case cost me not only my best friend, but also my special talent.
Your imaginary friend and your ability to use magic.
I
Got
never
it.
thought I'd lose something like that. But ever since then, I've been unable to solve cases using that method.
Metaphysical offender profiling.
Yeah, that made-up thing.
I tried everything I could think of to regain my lost talent,
Animalistic sacrifice, massive orgies, nothing worked.
but it never came back to me. That's why I quit working for the FBI. And without anywhere else to go, I simply spent my days seeking truth, searching for an answer I'd never find. So time continued to cruelly pass me by. Until finally, a disease started eating away at my body.
Maybe you should have stopped smoking.
I thought it was all over for me. But about half a year ago, I finally reached my conclusion. Everything started with the red seeds.
Yeah.
He and I encountered these seeds long before we reached Greenvale.
I assume that he is York?
Under the seething, mind-melting sun of Louisiana. Then, for some reason, in the beginning of December, I finally regained my talent. And instantly, I could see the other world again.
Okay.
Get it?
No.
Through allowing the cancer cells to ravage my body, I regained the power to travel to the other side.
Or you're insane.
This is the only answer, Aaliyah Davis. Truth is a surprise, born from coincidence and an unknown power.
Oh. Those are words. Nah. Photo
I
Melvin.
made a promise with Melvin. He entrusted me with Patricia. All he had left.
And then I completely forgot about her when I went to Greendale.
But immediately after you solved the case, you sent her to the Clarksons and left town.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
Yeah. Not very good at keeping promises.
You let go of her a long time ago. So you have no right to step back into the picture now.
A contract once made, well, blah blah blah.
That was the wrong thing to do. I was young.
Oh, it was 10 years ago.
But
Well,
now-
okay.
I have the chance to right my wrong.
You can't be serious.
Yes.
You can barely stand up.
Yeah, well, it would be a lot easier if I wasn't handcuffed. Throwing that out there.
Hey, Aaliyah.
I know, Agent Jones. I know I'm stepping over the line here.
Barry's still
To
just
make
flying
it
around the
clear that
room.
We can't trust a word of what he says.
She was the first perpetrator in the case. And technically, she was also the first victim. Maybe... Well, it's impossible to ask her now, but maybe she really did love her daughter with all her heart.
And that's why she cut her up.
And so, she was afraid. Afraid of what would happen if her daughter did end up inheriting the Clarkson estate. It was fear, or something like it.
Right.
That's what let the red tree inside.
Okay.
That's still no reason to kill someone.
You'd be surprised what the psychedelic drug can do to a person.
Especially not your own daughter.
I know. Of course I know that.
Yes, I know that. I'm not a
But
sociopath.
I'm
Cough,
sure
cough.
that deep down, she did too.
2 bizarre cases derailed your life.
Yeah, they were
Must have been
fucked.
extremely painful. You have my deepest condolences, but
But...
that doesn't put you in the clear. You're still a suspect.
Okay, cool.
A suspect? For what? Patricia isn't here.
You've searched the house.
The murders of Sheriff Melvin Woods and Candy Woods.
To be fair, Melvin attacked me. And then they just exploded. It was weird.
Their bodies were never recovered. Katrina carried them away, along with many other lives.
So why are you blaming me for the murder?
Aside from that report you wrote, there's nothing that proves your innocence.
That didn't prove my guilt either. What's statute of limitations on that? Statute of limitations murder. Louisiana. Do-do-do-do. Negligent homicide is only 6 years, so that's way past statute of limitations. So if it was first-degree murder, there's no time limit, but if it's manslaughter or negligent homicide, it's only 6 years. So realistically, you would have to prove that it was premeditated murder. Otherwise, he's long past statute of limitations.
Hey, let's not jump to conclusions here.
Oh, I'm not. I also suspect there's a possibility that he murdered individuals connected to other cases that he's worked on. The Greenvale report bears the same inconsistencies as this one.
Just because I used magic to solve things doesn't mean it's wrong.
And both cases are filled with victims whose deaths were never witnessed.
Oh, they were witnessed. Well, unfortunately, those witnesses also died. Yeah, I'm just remembering... Like, there was one death in the first game that's like, oh, there were a bunch of witnesses. But then all 3 other people died, so I can't really... Right.
Stop. Don't say another word. If you so much as mention her name.
If I mention it, then what?
You will pay.
I mean, he did see some fucked up shit. Twinkle! Did you just react to it?
Bell. No. Special Agent Aaliyah Davis.
Oh
You're
man, full
exceptionally
names.
talented, I admit it. You found Lisa's body, then discovered the red seeds all on your own. You even noticed that there was someone else in this room. You've got amazing intuition. You're a hunter with an extremely keen sense of smell.
I'm sensing a butt.
But
there it is.
you still can't perceive the other world the way you are now. That's all there is to it.
Okay. Are you kidding? Is the fairy going to unlock the keys?
Simon, look inside that trash can.
I so want the fairy to just undo the
It's right behind
handcuffs.
you. Then you'll know for sure that I'm telling the truth.
It's like, oh, what? It's like the fairy fucking real.
We told you not to touch the sanctuary!
Sanctuary!
What is this?
I'm the one who said I lied, the tip, sent everything into motion. We didn't talk alone. FK.
What's on that receipt? What is it, Agent Jones?
FK.
Contact a local agent and have them
Who's-
investigate Avery Smith's home.
FK.
There are still agents investigating the Lucare area, right? Trust me. That's where Patricia Clarkson is.
Trust you? Where's your proof?
Ask Aaliyah Davis. Ask her about the name of the person who tipped her off.
What do you mean?
You're from Chicago, and you love pizza, right?
Yeah? What?
Especially deep dish pizza, smothered in cheese.
What does this have to do with pizza?
Just ask her, and ask her why she decided to take this case in the first place. Got it? Pizza will never betray you. So you need to trust it, too.
Huh? Okay, so... Zach wrote this note ahead of time and put it in the garbage can, predicting he'd be in this room. All before he got all the information. I guess. So that's his proof that he knows what he's mate, what? They'll explain, I'm sure. Or they won't.
But how could you have known that I would come here with her?
I didn't. I just bet on you.
God damn it.
Hey! Tell me what's going on right now, Agent Jones.
Thank you, my fairy. Car key, Simon.
What?
Let me go.
Don't worry. Just trust in the pizza. I'm the anonymous tipper. FK.
Oh.
Hey, it's on the corner of 3rd Street. A 69 Pontiac GTO.
You've got excellent taste. Lend me your gun, too.
Sure.
Agent Jones!
Like, are you crazy, boy?
Don't you see what you're doing here?
I...
This is a severe obstruction of justice. You're violating the FBI code.
Trust in the pizza.
Aaliyah, I know, but
Pizza's so good, man.
will never betray me.
What the fuck are you talking
Tell
about?
Abrahams to prepare a private jet for me at the airport. I know Robert won't turn his back on me.
Wait, Morgan, are you serious? The chief would never lend out a private jet to a civilian like,
So the fairy's fucking real? Or he...
Leave you for a bit, my fairy. They'll be fine. They'll figure it all
Or
out.
they or he pickpocketed the key during a previous altercation. Also possible. But what the fuck, man? This game is weird. I'll be honest.
Can you hear me?
I was having a bit of a second guess
Finish the job you started.
after Melvin
That makes
died.
us even, okay?
But this is making this interesting.
York, she really is a genius agent. She's probably going to end up being an even better agent than we were. She just needs more experience under her belt.
Okay.
She's still only pursuing the world she can see with her naked eye. She needs to experience more frustration. She needs to strengthen herself. On the other hand, Simon's much smarter than he looks. No wonder he was able to go on watching us for 4.5 years.
I'm pretty sure
All
he's just
that
bored.
struggling under the surface paid off in the end. Do you want to know why he decided to start trusting me?
Because pizza?
Simple. It's all because of the name I used to send the tip to the FBI. It's the name of that pizza parlor, the Chicago-style place with those trademarked crimson boxes. Franklin's Kitchen. FK. Yet again.
Trust the
They've
pizza.
got the best deep dish pizza in the area. Both Simon and I love that place. That's why I told him, pizza will never betray you. Will it, York?
Okay. I guess.